Actress Cameron Diaz recently took to a podcast to share her experiences of being a model in the 90s before she made it big in Hollywood. She described how she had been searching for work in Paris, a large destination for the highly competitive fashion industry, after she had managed to get jobs in Los Angeles. Looking back on her experience though, she realized that the only gig she ever actually got in Paris was not as a model, and it probably wasn't within the fashion industry at all. Diaz said that she was in Paris for an entire year, but didn't work a day. She said she couldn't book a job to save her life, but did manage to land one gig. She isn't certain of the situation, but she believes that she had been a carrier of illicit substances across the border to the country of Morocco. You heard that right. Definitely not what you would expect to end up doing when you go to Europe looking for work as a fashion model. Since it was the early 90s, the TSA, or Transportation Security Administration, didn't really exist, and it was easier to carry whatever you wanted across the border. She tells the story of how she was given a suitcase and told that it had her costumes in it, but the suitcase was locked and she never actually saw what was inside. Diaz believes that it definitely wasn't costumes and was actually a suitcase full of illicit substances that she was being used to transport into Morocco. She says, "I was like a mule, I swear to God." She recalls that when she arrived in the country of Morocco, the officials asked her who owned the suitcase, and that's when she started to panic and her mind started running wild. She says, "All of the calculations in my head went running back, like what the f is in this suitcase? I'm this blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl in Morocco. It's the 90s. I'm wearing torn jeans and platform boots and my hair down, and this is really unsafe. That was my only job I ever got in Paris." While it looks like Diaz never actually confirmed what was in the case, she has a strong suspicion that it's not what she was told. Plenty of late 20th century celebrities have stories of their entanglements with illegal substances, but usually not in the context of having unknowingly carried them across the border, making Cameron Diaz a unique case indeed, if her suspicions are accurate. Considering it sounds like she never actually modeled or wore the alleged costumes after her arrival in Morocco, it definitely sounds correct that everything was not as it seems. Diaz has been in a now 4-year retirement from acting, but this podcast appearance comes as she is finally making a return to the screen in a Netflix movie titled Back in Action. Hopefully this is an actual movie role and not just a cover-up for more illegal goings-on. This movie is said to be an action comedy where she will star alongside Jamie Foxx, directed by Seth Gordon, who worked on projects like The Goldbergs and Baywatch. The plot seems to still be under wraps, and not much is known about the upcoming movie except the main cast. Jamie Foxx seems to be excited about it, as he put out a tweet saying that he was excited to be working with the GOAT, greatest of all time, Cameron Diaz, and was looking forward to production starting later this year. The release date is set to be around 2023 to 2024, so it may be a while before we actually see Diaz back on the screen. That's all I have for you for now, but I'll be sure to keep you updated if we find out anything new. I've been your host Woody. Join us next time for more.